Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. As always, your presence is appreciated. So let's go ahead and do this book review. The book is called My Sweet Girl by Amanda Jayatissa. And I probably pronounced that wrong, but I do apologize if I did. And that is the cover of the book. Very cute. This is what caught my eye to pick it up. The cover is what caught my eye. So, what can I say about this book? This was a crazy tale that will have you saying, what is going on? Like, what the what? So this story flips between the present in the USA and the past in Sri Lanka. The past is involving a girls' orphanage where the main characters, Paloma and Lihini, and I probably pronounced that wrong too, lived. As to not give the story away too much, here's the gist of it, okay? Mr. and Mrs. Evans, U.S. citizens, visit the orphanage and then decide to adopt one of the girls. The child comes to the U.S. and seems to have some mental health issues. The child is what I would call socially stunted and doesn't make or keep friends. The child becomes an adult and still has not outgrown her mental health or lack of social connection issues. Some would say it might be, detachment disorder. Definitely some anxiety. At one point I thought, oh, chick is bipolar. The diagnosis list was getting kind of long as I read it, but then I was like, hey, look, she just got some problems. The story indicates that the child slash adult has some anxiety issues and some guilt issues for how she left the orphanage. Basically, child slash adult had a decent life in the USA. However, she believes she is being haunted by a ghost named Mohini, probably pronounced that wrong, which is a wise tale from Sri Lanka. It doesn't help that she has a drinking problem and takes psychotropic medication. So, in reading this, you're like, is she just hallucinating because she's been drinking on top of taking the medication? And if things like this are happening, why doesn't she just put the bottle down? So like I said, it kind of adds to the list of issues because you're like, is chick an alcoholic? Like, what's going on here? She gets a roommate, okay, and believes that she has found the roommate dead in their apartment after he had attempted to blackmail her regarding a secret she has kept for the last at least 18 years. However, when the police get there, the body is gone. No body, no blood, no nothing. No indication that someone has died in this apartment. So stranger things begin to happen as the story progresses, and she's determined to find out what is really going on. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how are you finding out? How are you trying to find out what's going on and you're intoxicated like a good portion of the time? Like, how is this going to work? But anyway, she she tries to figure out what's going on. Um, there is a pivotal reason why I haven't indicated which of the children was adopted to the U.S. couple. That is a major part of the story, which I do not want to give away. So that is why I'm saying she, child slash adult, because I'm not gonna say the name because it has significant impact on the actual story. So you have to read the story to figure this all out. Okay, I'm trying to be as mysterious as this book was. Okay, um, you'll just have to read the book to find out. Okay, you'll definitely have to read the book to find out what happened to this roommate. Is he dead? Is he not dead? And if he's dead, who killed him? And why? Well, why? Um, she did try to navigate this strange happenings, but it was almost like, I don't know if you're really fit to do that. I mean, it's just like a hot mess. Like, it was one thing after another, and it's like, what is going on? Who's doing this? Who's doing these things? And how are you connected to these things happening? So it's definitely a well woven web of confusion, drama, death, and just mayhem, really. I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to read the book to find out who's behind these strange happenings and why. And I will say, as this book unravels, like I said, it does go back to the past in Sri Lanka, which gives you kind of like the lead up to this adoption. But how the author kind of flipped back between the past and the present, you're not going to get all the past at one time. It's spaced out within the book to, I don't know how to say it. It's like the past is leading up to why things are happening in the present. Okay? And I will say that it is an interesting tale in regards to what occurred in Sri Lanka. And it definitely gave me pause for the cause because that was some crazy stuff that happened in Sri Lanka. And I think it probably would affect any child. And so it kind of gives you, I don't know, a sense of empathy or sympathy to a degree, because it's like, oh, that happened. No wonder why you're having some problems in adult life. You know, even though the present U.S. life experience seemed to be overall good. Of course, there were some cultural differences. There were some adjustment issues. So that, to me, to a degree, would be understandable for someone being adopted from a different country. But it all ties in together. And there were moments where I was just like, hold up. Like, that came from left field. Where did that come from? So I would say this is a page turner. I wanted to get to the bottom of this. I wanted to find out why things were happening, who was doing it, the reason behind it. So I didn't see the pivotal moments coming. It was just like bam. In the book, when you're reading it, it's like, okay. But whoa, what was that? So I give major props to the author for the way they created this story. It was good. The author did an excellent job creating the suspense and the drama that sucks you in. Okay, it's gonna suck you in, and it's gonna keep hold of you because you're not gonna be able to put it down. I seriously thought this lady was like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and an alcoholic, among other diagnoses that I kind of came up with as I was reading. But once you get done with the book, you're like, oh wow, like that's tough. I posted about this book in a Facebook group, and a person commented that the storyline wasn't realistic. I mean, I was able to connect the dots. I was able to track and understand. I don't know. I threw that out there because obviously someone has a different opinion of this book than I do. And I thought it was like, really? Well, I mean, when I finished it, I was like, you didn't think that was realistic? I mean, without giving anything away, obviously the adoption took place in a different country, and their resources, are their resources. And so to me, the author did a good job of explaining how this was actually plausible. That's all I'm going to say, because if I say too much, then I'm going to give it away, and I don't want to give it away. I want you to go read the book. So I felt the storyline was plausible, and the author did a wonderful job breaking down how things came to be. The flipping between past and present was, expertly executed. I will warn you, there is some disturbing incidents described in the story. It's not gory. It just gives you enough detail to give you the gist of what happened. There is some death in the book described. There is a sexual abuse incident that is described. Again, it's not overwhelming. It's just enough to describe and tell you what happened and keep it moving. I would have liked, actually, for the book to have some discussion questions in the back. It did not. Because sometimes those discussion questions come from the author or editor perspective of what they think you could get out of this in terms of conversation, for like a book club or something like that. But this book did not, which I wish it would have. I'm not gonna go into any of the conversation topics that it could bring up, because again, I don't want to give anything away, so I am not going to do that this time. So what I am going to say is that I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I give it a 5 out of 5. So subscribe, click like, share, tell a friend. If you've read the book, comment your thoughts. I want to know what you think about this book. I would I'm really interested on what other people think about this particular book. Until next time, keep turning the pages, my book lovers.